Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Incompetence, should have resigned a long time ago for numerous obvious reasons, but this may be the straw that breaks the camel's back. This is an interview that he just did with his girlfriend, Alexis Wilkins, who is a self-proclaimed country singer, best known for suing people on Twitter if they claim that she's a Mossad agent who honeypotted him, because people are trying to figure out how in the world these two got together when she's like half his age. She's pretty cute, I guess. And his ancestors are poop throwers from India. So there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there about her and him, and I don't believe them. I think there's a much simpler explanation for how they got together, because Kash is rich. He owns like numerous different properties. He's worth like $10 million. But they decided to go on Katie Miller's podcast, just like a astroturfed podcast that all the establishment types are promoting. This is Stephen Miller's wife, by the way. So Stephen Miller, fantastic, but his wife just wanted to start a new hobby, and so she has a podcast now and is getting some pretty big guests. And this was the teaser for their big interview.
We are so excited to be joined by Kash and his beautiful girlfriend, Alexis. So I just want to clarify, you're not Jewish.
I'm not.
You are not from Israel.
No.
So how did we get to, are you a Mossad agent?
You know, that's a great question.
Where's her ring? Just to clarify, how often has he traveled to see you since January 20th? Has there been one moment where you're like, you can't make this up?
So brace yourself, because there is incoming cringe. But just a quick heads up, Friday, December 19th, may be my last video of the year. We'll take a little break over Christmas and New Year's. I'll return Monday, January 5th. I may post one video over Christmas break, but I want to try to do a digital detox so I can return in the new year, 2026, fully refreshed and ready to go. Here he is addressing the attacks against Alexis, which stemmed in part because he couldn't stop posting selfies of the two of them together at various different events, which is odd because you're supposed to be the director of the FBI, not an Instagram influencer, sir. And you would think that he would keep his personal life private, but he just couldn't help out of probably insecurities, trying to show off that he's dating, some girl who could maybe fill a high school gymnasium with, an audience if she were to put on a show. But the conspiracies stem from her being a former PragerU contributor, and PragerU is run, the CEO is like an Israeli Jew who worked with the IDF. And so people are taking those two little dots and then envisioning a gigantic mosaic that I just don't think is there, but it's a very popular theory online.
On a personal level, of course, I wish we didn't have to deal with the attacks. Like, she should be out there touring and crushing it on the country music stage, as she always has been.
Crushing it on the country music stage, as she always has been. We'll get into that in a moment, so stay tuned.
And she shouldn't have to deal with the collateral consequence of just being the FBI director's girlfriend. But I think with the hypersensitive nature of the media, especially the social media space, people come at you because...
This is the director of the FBI, and he sounds like a scared little child.
It takes me back to like when I first did an investigation of consequence, Benghazi or Russiagate or what have you. They always said it's going to be the loudest when you're over the target. And yeah, it's been the loudest for us in recent history because she's doing amazing things and the FBI is doing a great job for the American people and certain sectors.
We'll get into her amazing things in a moment.
Of the online space aren't satisfied that we're thriving, we're surviving, and that we have the support of this administration.
First of all, shouldn't you be investigating the countless crimes that have occurred and are continuing to occur in America and issuing indictments? Like, why is he going on a couples podcast? And like I said, Kash sadly is largely responsible for this by repeatedly posting selfies online, showing off his girlfriend. And when you're in a position of a high-level, intelligence agency like the FBI, the last thing you want to be doing is opening the door to your personal life on social media. You moron. This is why most celebrities don't post photos of their family and like their real friends on social media and their children. They'll post photos of their industry friends. It's all just self-promotion, but they keep their private lives private. But Kash wants to be an influencer, and like many influencers, he even has his own merch. Get it? It's the Kash line. the K$H. Merch that he would often wear when he was doing the podcast circuit before he became the director of the FBI. Seen here in an interview even wearing a Kash pin. Here he is responding to the widespread criticism of him using the FBI's private jet to fly across the country in order to see his girlfriend and go on vacations with her.
And no one told them not to go on vacation.
Them meaning prior FBI directors.
And it's ironic that they're saying, oh, you're going on vacation or you're going to see your girlfriend perform.
By the way, it's a security risk, actually, for the FBI director to fly commercially, obviously. So no matter where they go, whether it's for a personal event or an FBI event, government event, they have to fly private for obvious reasons.
And if I was actually abusing it, I would go see every one of her shows. I think I get to like 15%.
That's a great excuse, sir, but I'm sure that after going to one or two of her concerts that nobody could tolerate any more of that noise pollution. But he said that nobody was saying that the former FBI directors couldn't fly around on the private jet in their personal life. Nobody at all, right? Oh, wait, what's this?
Saying take all their funding. I'm not the defund everything guy. I'm just saying Chris Wray doesn't need a government-funded G5 jet to go to vacation. Maybe we ground that plane. $15,000 every time it takes off. Just a thought.
Minimum.
This is a post that he made last month after his use of the private jet to go and see her made headlines. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe that he fired whoever it was that kind of, confirmed to the reporter that, well, of course, that's what he's doing. That's the protocol. So he posted this lengthy post defending it, which is fine now that he knows how that protocol works. But he added the disgustingly baseless attacks against Alexis, a true patriot, and the one I'm proud to call my partner in life, are beyond pathetic. She's a rock-solid conservative and a country music sensation who's done more for this nation than most will in 10 lifetimes. That's amazing, sir, because she didn't even have a Wikipedia page because she wasn't relevant enough until she started suing people on Twitter for her making the claims that she's a Mossad agent to honeypotting people. Literally, this Wikipedia page was started only a month ago. And we don't even have time to get into the full list of the people that she is suing for making such claims. Apparently, she has never heard of the Streisand effect because after she filed the first lawsuit, literally for $5 million against these people, then obviously everybody started looking at her with extreme suspicion because what sort of damage are these claims doing to her career? Nobody who's going to book her for a venue is going to be like, oh my God, I heard that you might be a Mossad agent. We're just not going to have you at our venue. So now everybody hates her because she's filing lawsuits against people. Some of them are just trolling her. Some of them didn't even make overt or even clear statements. They're just posting photos and memes. This country music sensation, who again has done more to help America than any of us in 10 lifetimes, doesn't even have 100,000 followers on Twitter, which you could say is because it's a news platform and she's like an entertainer, a country music singer, and so those kinds of fans and those kinds of stars, superstars like her, are more of an Instagram type of a person. We'll look at that in just a moment. But just for comparison, the Charmin toilet paper account has almost the same number of followers as she does on Twitter. So the updates about the latest technology in toilet paper is of more interest to people over on Twitter than she is. And she doesn't even have 100,000 followers over on Instagram. By the way, subscribe to my channel if you're new here. You won't find independent and politically incorrect analysis like this anywhere else. Let's just compare that to Charmin's Instagram account. Oh, she is beating Charmin. Charmin has 50,000 followers over there on Instagram, which, again, is literally just an account that posts about toilet paper. Well, surely she must have a huge following over on YouTube, which is where the primary platform is for her music videos, right? Oh, wait, what's this? She has under 8,000 subscribers. This is her official YouTube channel. By the way, this is not just a fan account. A lot of times for other celebrities, fan accounts, have a small number of subscribers compared to the actual account. This is her actual account here. And if you look at the view count on her music videos, the latest one came out a year ago. It has a whopping 114,000 views. 114,000. Don't even get me started again on the Diwali celebration in the Oval Office, the first time that a president has been humiliated to the point of having to pretend to celebrate Diwali, the Hindu festival. And there, of course, is Kash Patel, expressing how proud he is that the President Trump is finally adopting his poop-throwing ancestors' favorite holiday. And I'm sorry to say it, but Dan Bongino isn't much better. As a podcaster, he actually was pretty good. But then I saw this clip of him shilling his book, and then things start to make a little more sense. And this is not him on like an Israeli podcast. This is him and his wife in collaboration with Premier Collectibles, which is a company like in the UK that helps sell, like signed copies, autographed copies. They do the logistics and things. So here he is being asked questions from his wife about him and his book at the time, which came out years ago.
What cause is dear to your heart?
Cause is dear to my Israel, the defense of Israel.
Why would that even be on the top 100 list of anything that any American cares about unless they're Jewish? Obviously, Ben Shapiro, it's the only thing that he does care about and uses his platform as a vehicle to promote his favorite country. But Dan Bongino is not even Jewish. What cause is dear to your heart? The answer should be America. It's easy answer. America, sir. There were reports back in July that he was going to resign because Bimbo Bambandi is also incompetent, and then they pushed back and said that wasn't true. So here we are, at the end of the year. But now there are new reports that say that in a couple days he's going to decide whether or not to resign. So who knows? I really wouldn't be surprised because at this point, if he has any hope of salvaging what's left of his reputation, he probably should leave. I'm just tired of all these phonies, all these wannabe social media stars who always put their brand and their follower count ahead of principles and the mission. And like I said, Friday, December 19th, may be the last day that I post a video of the year, but if that's the case, don't worry, I will be back Monday, January 5th. And if you enjoy watching my videos throughout the year, if you want to support my work, then buy me a coffee by clicking the link in the description below. It's like a crowdsourcing way to help support your favorite creator. Way better than a super thanks or a super chat because YouTube takes like 30% of that right off the top, even before taxes. So buy me a coffee, much better way to do it. So click the link in the description below, head on over there and check it out.